How was your night last night, Madeline?
Pretty good. How was your night last night, Alex?
Pretty good. Are you hungover?
A little bit. What about
Me too.
you?
Just a little bit. We may need a little hair of the dog.
I think so.
Did you have fun?
I had a lot of fun.
You did? It doesn't
I
look like
did.
that in the photos. Let's talk about it. Madeline, talk to me about the photos.
That's just my face. I don't know. I was having such a good time. But I either look terrified or like I'm grieving.
Guys, last night we went to the premiere of my fiance's movie, Love at First Sight. And did you like the movie?
Oh my god, it was so good.
I was about to say, you can't say it was shit. You're obviously going to say it was good.
No, I was bored out my mind.
I'm going to be really honest. I can't see anything.
Neither can I.
So maybe we should dine on our date and actually be able to make eye contact.
Okay.
Okay. I'll take mine off if you take yours off.
Okay.
Oh my god, it's so much better. I know you like to be pretty lonesome. That's why I booked this entire restaurant just for the two of us.
Yeah, I thought it was a bit intense for a first date.
Oh, I thought you were going to thank me.
I'll thank you later.
Would you consider yourself an introvert?
Can you not tell from the videos last night? People always think I'm having a bad time. And it makes me feel bad because they'll come up to me. Like, Alex, the majority of people that came up to me last night were like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "I'm fine."
Doesn't that make it worse, though? Because,
Makes it way worse.
like, why are you asking someone? I get it if you're, like, sobbing in the corner.
But, like, if someone's not directly talking to me, this is my face. Because what else am I going to do?
Right, just, like, be a creeper in the corner, just smiling at everyone. Like, can you talk to me a little bit about your family?
In my house, it's me, my mum, and my sister. I mean, it was, obviously not anymore. And my dad left when I was like 6 and married the woman he's still with now. She has 2 kids that I don't really know. Even though we technically grew up together, I swear I've had 3 conversations with them in my entire life.
How was it explained to you when your dad left?
Okay, so actually kind of embarrassing, I didn't understand. And like, I didn't say that I didn't understand, so no one thought to clear things up with me. I thought he was going on vacation. And then after like 6 months, I was like, where the fuck is dad? And yeah, he never came back. I was like, what the hell? But we didn't see him for like ages after he left. Well, not ages, but like a considerable amount of time after he left. So I was like, yeah, he's in Australia on vacation. I don't know where I even got Australia from. I was like, yeah, he's gone.
You're like, where do people go on vacation? Dad's definitely in Australia.
Yeah.
Did you ever have like a conversation with your dad? Did you ever close things out? Like, what's your relationship like with him now?
Me and my dad have had like a bit of a crazy ride with our relationship. We're so similar. And I'm now realizing that, like, now we have a pretty good relationship, but when I was younger, like, I didn't want to go to his house on the weekends. It's where I started getting panic attacks and, like, because I think I was just too young and, like, I'm a big mummy's girl. Like, I need to be with my mummy still now. So I basically just asked my mum if I could stop visiting him. And, like, I just stopped visiting him. And, like, he didn't really protest it. I definitely didn't protest it. And then I had, like, virtually no relationship with him for like years until I got a little bit older and was like, okay, I understand who he is as a person and like I would like a relationship with him that's like stronger, so I kind of made more effort, which I think was like what the relationship needed, which obviously I couldn't offer when I was like 7. But
that is interesting to hear, like, you are the one that reached out, because I'm sure like there's a lot of people that listen that are like maybe have kind of a broken relationship with a parent and don't know how to repair it. Like, did you just like wake up one day and you were like, I'm gonna do this, or was it kind of like on your mind for a while?
It was on my mind for a while, and then I think I got a really good therapist who explained something to me about why I am the way I am and it literally changed my whole perspective on myself.
Could you share it with us?
He basically was like, I think that you were just a very intuitive child. Because I was like, why am I like feeling so many things and my sister's not? I was like, why did my childhood affect me like this and not my sister? I was like confused. So he was like, I think you were a very intuitive child and you were picking up on things that weren't like an adult wouldn't think you were seeing or feeling, and it stressed you out, and then it gave you all these like emotions that you had, and it affected your relationship with your parents, but they didn't understand why, because they didn't think you were like privy to this situation.
Oh, interesting.
And so then I kind of was like, okay, and I started to think about it in the context of like my relationship with my dad, just gaining perspective that you gain with like a bit of age. And I was like, okay, like now that I understand myself a bit and why I felt like that, and I can kind of see where he's coming from and why maybe he did certain things and why he is the way he is.
Yeah.
And then I was kind of just like, he's a nice guy. Like, I don't need to feel like this weird anger or like resentment that I had felt as a kid because like I didn't understand my emotions. So I think he's always kind of made an effort to have a relationship. Like, he'll invite me over for dinner and stuff. And like now I make sure I go like at least every couple months and see them and sit down and have a meal.
Talking kind of about like when you would go to your dad's house and you would get panic attacks, what was your situation like in school? Like, were you able to have like a normal school experience? What was that like?
I have not had a normal school experience. I found documents, and no one will explain them to me, that said that I was in like therapy from like 6 years old or 5 years old, and I'm like, why was I there? I don't remember going. But like, I think I've had issues since fucking birth. And also, I was in special education classes until like year 4, which is like 3rd grade, because everyone thought I was completely illiterate because I was so shy that I was a selective mute. And so my teachers were like, oh my God, this bitch, like, she can't do anything, she can't read, she can't write, she can't do math, she can't talk, she's way behind developmentally. And then I would come home and I'd be like reading novels to my mom, like writing sonnets. So when my mom heard from the school that I was like in these classes, she was like, what the fuck?
No. She's like, wait, Madeline is actually really smart. Why is she getting held back? And they're like, she doesn't speak. Wait, oh, that's so interesting. Did you have friends in school?
I had one friend, and I would whisper things to her, and then she would tell my teacher what I wanted to say. So like, I was like seriously shy. I remember at preschool, I knew one of my preschool teachers for like when I was an adult, and she told me this story that I like wouldn't look at anyone, I wouldn't speak, I wouldn't hold anyone's hand, I wouldn't take drinks, I wouldn't eat food, like couldn't do anything. And apparently one day I like reached up and I like wrapped my whole hand around one of her fingers to like hold her hand, and she just looked down and was like like it was like the biggest honor that I'd actually like felt confident enough to hold her hand. But also I didn't know how to hold hands because my mom's disabled, and so I would hold her fingers. So I like held this woman's finger thinking like, this is how I hold hands.
Wait, stop. The woman's literally like, finally, like she's not speaking, but she's at least like touching me. Can you talk a little bit about your mom? Are you comfortable with that? Just so people have context of just
Sure.
growing up in her situation and everything.
So my mom is disabled. She is a thalidomide baby. It was a morning sickness pill given to women in the 60s. So my grandma took it whilst pregnant with my mum, and it stopped the fetus growing the day it was taken, basically. So some people with thalidomide are really, really affected, like no eyes, no ears, no limbs, brain damage. And then the other end of the spectrum is like, you miss a finger or you miss an ear. Like, it can be really minor or really severe. So my mom kind of sits in the middle, so it's her arms and her neck that are affected. All of them have kind of slight shoulders. She has arms down to like your elbow, so she has like a forearm and then deformed hands, and she has definitely not 10 fingers, I couldn't tell you, but some of them are stuck together, and then her hands are like not regular hands. But she's very like, my whole life growing up, like I never thought like, oh, my mom's disabled. I thought it was so cool, because like she came into my primary school when I joined and like basically introduced herself, so none of the kids would like say anything or like stare, and like did like a whole like, I'm this person and this is my situation, and then she would like help out in my class, so all my friends knew her and no one thought it was weird or anything, which definitely was like a good thing that she did, because kids can be horrible, but
assholes.
Never in my life has anyone said anything mean to me about my mom. Like, she handles herself so brilliantly and like has always taken time to like introduce herself.
Have you learned anything from just like watching your mom just like be such like a strong force in your life and like going through what she's gone through? Like, how has that affected you?
I think my therapist has actually been bothering me about this lately. He's like, I think your mom has a huge influence on like why you do what you do and why you are the way you are. And I'm kind of starting to agree with him, because at first I was like, no, but then I was like, okay, maybe my mother does have some effect on how I am. She's kind of a big role in my
I
life.
think so, Madeline.
Yeah.
I'm interested also to know, like, aside from family, like, friendships your whole life. Like, how have you had a lot of friends? What have your friendships been like?
No, I had like, I've always been one of those girls that has like close friendships, but not like many friendships. So growing up, I had like my one best friend, and then so I left my primary school when I was 7 because I was a bit of a mess. I was having panic attacks, I was getting bullied, so my mum pulled me out of that school and put me into a different school, which was a very different school. Like it was, I don't know if anyone's gonna know what this is. It was Montessori, which is like, it's like a theory of the way you raise a kid, and you don't start teaching them anything until they're losing teeth. There's something like, but I'd been in a normal school, so I was like, why are all these kids fucking stupid, and why am I coloring in? Like, this is ridiculous. So I just was like, I hate it here, and I was not a very nice student. Got kicked out.
Why?
Because I was acting out. I kind of orchestrated a few riots, and
Classic in the Montessori school. Madeline's like, I was concocting the biggest plan to get the fuck out of that shithole.
it really was. They gave me a scar that I have down my cheek. I don't know if you can see it.
Wait, what?
Right? Because like we were in the woods. It was like, you know those wilderness therapy videos that you see on TikTok, just like people with horror stories? Like,
Yeah.
we weren't far off. Like they would put us to work on the farm. We built the school from the ground up. By the way, there was no physical school when I enrolled there. We built it in the winter. Like,
Wait, what? You enrolled
I feel like I'm not giving enough context. I've just thrown that at you.
This is so genius. You enrolled in a school that didn't exist, and on the first day of school, they're like, build it, bitch.
Yeah.
What? Is that an actual thing? So you were out there building?
Bro, it was so weird. And I remember they would make us like chop down trees, and I put an axe into my knee, and the sound will never leave my brain. Like the sound that it made. I was like, why have you given a 6-year-old an axe and just been go? Like,
You holding an axe?
at 6, like I'm not big now. I wasn't big at 6, like wielding.
This sounds literally like a movie. I'm like picturing you like in the wilderness, like chopping down a tree.
The worst part is I got my ass kicked out before they finished construction. I never even got to reap like the fruits of my labor. I never got to sit in the school.
So you were just constantly creating like big bombs in moments to just like rattle the teacher so you could get the fuck out.
Yeah, one time, I've said this before, I got everyone to take their pants off, except, no, maybe I took mine off too. But like, everything off. Like, we were all in the woods, and I was like, right, 1, 2, 3, pull them down. And then the teacher like came around the corner, and they like pulled me away like by the skin of my neck because they like knew it was me. I was probably like in the middle of the circle, like, yes.
Madeline with her full V out in the middle of the woods. What was going through your head to like make that decision? Like, what was going on?
Well, I'm pretty sure that this boy came up to me and he said like, I'll show you if you show me. And I was like, okay, but wait, like, I see your vision, like, let's make it 10 times bigger, like, production value. I was like, hey, get everyone. And, like, everyone was the same age, so I was like, right, guys, come on. And, like,
so a boy wanted to see your vagina, and you were like, I love that, Timmy, but let's ramp it up 5,000 notches. Yeah. Let's get every girl and guy to just whip it out so we can really size each other up, freestyle. Yeah. And the teacher's like, yeah. Madeline, that's genius.
Thank you.
And from what I'm hearing is like you were too smart to be at some of these schools, but because of you being so shy and like in certain moments in your other schools, they were like, put her in this other school. So you were like, I'm fucking bored.
Well, no, like I don't think it was because I was shy. I think it was because I was like getting bullied. My teacher was really crap. Literally nothing. Oh my God. This girl had no reason to come for me. I didn't really have any friends that year because my previous best friend had like kind of found another girl to hang out with, and I like didn't get on with the other girl, and I was like a little bit alone. I wasn't understanding my classes. I was like really shy, and this girl would just like pick at me and pick at me and pick at me. And the worst part is I told my mum about it because I'd seen those posters around like getting bullied, tell an adult. And I was like, okay, I have to tell an adult. And I remember like going home, I was so scared. I felt like I was telling her I was pregnant. I was like, Mummy, I'm getting bullied. And she was like, oh. And so she finds out by who, and it's like not a surprise because this girl's like not nice, whatever. Like she doesn't have a good reputation. And whatever, she pulls me out of the school because they don't do anything to help. I'm not having a good time. We go to the different school. Years go by, and it's like college, and this girl is there, and we have some mutual friends. And we're talking, and it comes out that I bullied her. And I was like, what defamation of character is this? Because I never, like, first of all, I didn't speak words. How am I going to bully you?
Literally, you're like, I'm mute, bitch, so try again.
Literally. And I was like, oh my God, like, if any of these people had gone to my primary school, they would immediately be like, absolutely the fuck not did she bully anybody, let alone you. Like, you were a scary kid in primary. Like, this was like the shortest, tiniest, most pathetic looking kid. Like, she wasn't bullying anyone. She did not have the stature for it. And she like accused me. She was like, no, you bullied me. And I was like, I low-key actually believe that you believe that because...
I agree.
Right?
The delusion.
The delusion. If you get told a narrative, especially from your parents from a young age, that like it wasn't your fault, someone was mean to you, like I'm sure she actually thinks that.
I agree.
Keeps me up at night.
But I love it because you actually have the street cred to be like, I didn't even talk.
Right.
So how the fuck could I bully you, little shit? Wow, Madeline, this is good story time.
Thanks.
As an adult, though, it is really fucking hard to make friends. I feel like in moments, how do you make friends? Like, what's your strategy?
I don't have a strategy. I think have sex with them if you have to.
Madeline! I would need to know how many of your friends have you had sex with? Be honest right now. Don't lie to my face.
No, but okay, listen.
Too many or two?
No.
Too many.
Listen. So, the thing about like liking girls is you'll go on dates and you'll hit it off.
Yeah.
Be like, I don't really want to have sex with you. Suddenly, you have a new friend. The amount of my friends, like I would go on a date, maybe sleep with them, and then we'd both be like, we didn't like that, but I like you, but like I don't want to sleep with you again. But that was fun, and then friendship. And there's some of the funniest friendships.
After we were just getting on.
And then give a fuck. Like, I wouldn't do it with a guy because I feel like it's a different vibe. But with girls, like...
You can just be friends.
I know the vibes, yeah.
That's kind of nice.
I love it. Like, it's a really... If you're like a queer woman, that's how you make friends in your 20s. That's
go down on them and then be like, okay, we didn't love it, but like, let's hang out, right? Let's be friends.
Yeah. Easy.
Great advice from Madeline. Just hook up with your friend, basically, that you find. Go on a date, have sex, and then be like, let's just be friends.
Yeah.
The wise words of Madeline Argy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.
How's yours?
Yummy. How's yours?
Yummy. Okay, let's do a little role playing.
Sexy.
So sexy. Okay. You're stuck in a corner with someone that you don't know at a party, okay? Yeah. And you have to make conversation. There's absolutely no avoiding it. What are you going to talk about with them, Madeline?
Alex, I have no fear to sit there in silence and make someone uncomfortable. I'm not scared of that. It's like,
I kind of love that.
I don't care. I mean, if I, for some reason, I'm in one of those moods where I want to talk, I don't know, I'll probably just like non-consensually tell them about my day.
I think I'm going to take that motto with you because I have the opposite problem where, like, I can't help but try to make everyone feel like everything is so, like, no one is feeling awkward. Like, I'm going to make everyone feel super confident, comfortable. Let's just talk. So if there's an awkward moment, I'm always going to try to, like, jump in and, like, talk and just, like, ice break. And next time, I'm going to just, like, shut my fucking mouth.
Just see what happens.
Yeah. I bet I'll be a lot happier. I'll be way less exhausted.
But you're so good at, like, putting people at ease and just, like, getting a conversation going.
I appreciate that. I would hope. Sometimes I, like, don't know if it's working, so I'm just, like...
Well, you kind of have to be good at it.
Exactly. Like, I gotta talk to people for a living. Like, I hope I make you feel comfortable and you're not uncomfortable right now.
Yeah, no, I'm miserable.
I figured. This is, like, pretty awful, right?
It's terrible.
Like, we're not having a good time.
We're not having a good time at all.
Next role play.
Yeah.
It's getting steamy. There's a guy over there at the bar, let's pretend.
Okay.
I'm super into him.
Okay.
I'm too nervous to go over. I need you to be my wing woman. You're going to get my foot in the door. You're going to go over there. What are you going to say?
Have you spoken to him yet?
No, just been eye fucking him over here like a weirdo. And been like, Madeline, go, get me in, say something for me.
Oh my God, I don't know. No one's ever asked me to do that with them.
I'm asking you right now. Life is on the line.
Right
Throw my
now.
engagement ring away. I need that man over there. What?
Okay, I have some cash.
What?
Maybe pay him off. Please. She's just thrown her engagement ring out the window. I don't know what to do with her. She won't leave.
Please go talk to my desperate fucking friend. The fact that the first thing that comes to your mind is I'm gonna pay this man off for you, Alex. Honestly, that's kind of like in a comedic way not a bad idea. To be like, yo, my friend like really wants to talk to you. I'll give you $20 to go talk to her.
Yeah.
Oh wow, good to know. If you're friends with Madeline, she's fully gonna whore you out and just pay your way to whatever you want. Thank you, Daddy Warbucks. Wow. It's like that hungover food I needed.
Uh-huh. Oh, fuck. I spilled on my shirt.
You did? Mm-hmm. Okay, it's okay. I know a place that we can go. Okay, perfect. It's still open. This is my favorite New York City laundromat.
Twist.
Okay, you do it. You do it. Great.
Wait, why did you change your shirt?
Well, I don't know. I just love New York. Do you think your shirt's almost done?
I don't know. Probably not.
Okay.
You know, one time I got my nipple pierced at this really sketchy place, and like it literally doubled in size and started like oozing goo.
So then what happened?
Well, it still looks really bad.
Wait, which one is it? Oh my god.
Yeah.
What did it look like? Is that disgusting to ask?
No, I will divulge. So it had 2 holes either side where the bar had gone in and it was oozing out of those, and then all of your like breast milk holes.
So what ended up happening?
Why are you laughing? It's like sensitive. What the hell? Like opening up me. I'm just giggling.
Fuck you. No. Wait, why didn't you go to the hospital?
I couldn't be bothered.
You couldn't be bothered going to the hospital. So now is your nipple just fucked?
Yes, it is.
But
It's
like
still a different shape to the other one, but I think it's mostly gone down to its original size.
I feel like when I was growing up, my mom would tell me like it builds character to have something like that happen to you, and like maybe they look different, but that's good. You're unique. Is that how you look at it?
No, because you know what? And I agree with your mother, but I was born as God's favorite, and I had perfectly symmetrical, even tits.
Oh.
Great nipples, even just like, who has that? Who has like perfectly symmetrical tits?
No one except for Madeline Argy, apparently.
No one except for me.
Like overall experience of getting gangrene on your nipple, like what would you rate it 1 out of 10 for like hard, difficult time in your life?
Like a 6. Why are you laughing again? I just told you it was like a 6 hardest time in my life.
I really will say, like, thank you for opening up and telling me about your experience with your nipple. I feel like we got closer.
Yeah. I'm gonna go see if my shirt's off.
Okay, yeah.
Why is your shirt so big?
Shut up. Why is yours so small, you little slut?
You bought it for me.
Oh, fuck. Guten Tag, good morning, Daddy Gang. It is the morning. I am on my way right now to pick up Madeline at her hotel. You know, Madeline and I love hanging out with her because we have pretty similar energy. I can be insane, she can be insane, and then we also want to like chill. So it's going to be a fun day to podcast, and we are about to pull up right now. Hello? Get in here.
Is this our third date?
I wonder what bass will hit. Like in talking terms, I mean.
You know, I've never known what the basses are. Because like, I don't think people really say it in England. So when people are like, oh, second bass, third bass, I'm like, what the fuck?
Take a guess. Go ahead. First base is what?
First base, I would say that's like boobies.
Oh my God, you slut. so aggressive. Is it not? I think it's like making out.
Oh.
I think. Wait,
I
okay,
thought it was
so
like a boob
no, I'm
touch.
just kidding. Maybe the UK is like more feisty. I love it. Okay, so first base for you is feel your tits. For me, it's make out. What's second base then? What the fuck is third base in the UK then? Okay, second base in the UK.
It's probably like head.
Head.
I've just assumed, I guess third base, that's like sex, right?
What's home run?
Is there not, is there fourth base? Fifth base? I don't know.
It's like first base in the US is like make out.
Okay.
Second base is like feel the tits, like maybe a hand job. It's very much it's
I
like the
would
dry
probably go for
stuff.
a tit feel before I kiss them.
You went for a tit feel before you kissed them.
I would think it's less intense. Maybe it's really not.
Just a little gray.
But like if, okay, I'm thinking of the, in the context of like middle school and you like,
is there anything to grab? Like for me, I was like a carpenter's dream. You know what I mean? Like there was something to go. Like you couldn't do anything. So I was like, here's my mouth because there's nothing to feel. Like I had no boobs in middle school. Did you have boobs in middle school?
I still don't have,
You still don't?
I don't have any tits. It's so sad. But you know what's gross? I actually had my first serious relationship and I actually remember they like wanted to have sex and I was like, I don't have tits yet. Like they were still like in the early stages of coming in and I was like, oh my God, what the fuck am I gonna do? And so I waited 8 months in the relationship till we could have sex and I was like, finally I have tits. Like they grew in those 8 months.
They grew that fast?
Well, it's not exactly like Fast and Furious,
like,
you know what I mean?
Like a little bump came. Like a little speed bump came. Like you got a little like mosquito
It was like the
bite
formation.
action.
I was like, cool, I'm ready.
You waited 8 months and finally a little tit appeared and you were like, okay, now you can fuck me.
Yeah. That's so gross when you put it like that. Thank you.
No. I appreciate the honesty. Okay, that's really amazing. And just to confirm for my own suspicions, third base, I think in the U.S., or just in my life, was then like a finger and a blowjob, and then full was fuck.
Okay, wait, so fourth base is
Fourth base is home run.
sex.
You know, we're playing baseball.
Okay.
So first base, second base, third
Okay,
base,
okay.
home run. Woo! Do you know anything about baseball?
No.
Intimate question, but with having like the germs and everything, how does that translate to like if you're gonna hook up with someone? Do they need to like shower before you hook up?
Okay, like I just won't suck dick. Because like I don't know where that's been. I don't know if your hands are fucking gone in it. Like boys are gross.
Right.
They don't wash their hands. They shove their hands down their pants. But like, okay, so my thing is puke. Like that's the germ I'm scared of. Any germs that will cause that. But like I don't, give me the flu, give me a cold. Like I'm fine.
You just don't want to puke.
I don't want to puke, and you can't catch that unless someone's just puked.
Oh, I was thinking you were saying because like obviously if I'm gonna suck dick, I'm gonna puke on his dick.
No. Well, also yeah.
I'm like, she's a deep throater, guys. Like, she goes ham. Like when she's going
I
down
definitely don't.
So you just like you don't even like you're not even going down there ever.
No, because there's germs. No, I like maybe with a partner.
We are currently at Washington Square Park, but there is apparently a band out there, so this may not be the best for podcasting, but I'm also like, maybe it's a cute band, like maybe there's a rock star over there that like, although I'll be honest, I don't know if you want to like date a rock star in Washington Square Park, but like maybe.
I think
maybe.
I'm done with musicians, Alex.
Okay, here we go. Here we go, let's go find a pump.
Oh my God. I'm kind of hungry. I want a hot dog. And I know you probably don't want a hot dog. Well, I know you don't want a hot dog.
I don't want a hot dog.
Would you ever eat street food? No.
I wish. It smells so good.
I'm gonna go get some. Do you want to come?
No.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to get a hot dog. I'll be right back.
You guys know there was this one time when I like had an entire crisis to the point that I shaved my head. I like woke up and I said to my friend, who may have been a fake friend for letting me do this, that she was a little bit too excited, you know what I mean? like rubbing her hands together kind of thing. Like she put the razor in my hand. I like hacked off all of my hair because I wanted to see what I would look like with a bob and a fringe. And then I just shaved it. And I was in a relationship at the time. I like called my ex to show them. I was like so excited. I thought they were gonna love it. And then they just burst into tears on the phone. That was really embarrassing. And like I had this fixation. I really wanted to shove my, like go to the ocean. I wanted to put my head in the sand and then like wet it and put it in the sand. I don't know why I like fixated on it so heavy. Then my girlfriend broke up with me because I was bald, and then I was like way too depressed to go to the ocean, so. And then I just let it grow back, and it stuck directly upwards on the top of my head for like, I don't know, 6 months. And then I like OD'd on biotin for the next 6 months, and then it will grow back.
She is literally the easiest interview I've ever done. Look at her. She's just like talking to herself over there. I'm like, I'm gonna go get a hot dog. She's like clearly telling a story or something over there. I love it. Can I have a hot dog? Thank you so much. You can keep the change. Thank you.
Anyways, I know it's like a cliche, people shave their heads after a breakup, and I am going through one, but I don't think I'm gonna do that again. Would you ever shave your head?
What?
You think I'd look good with a shaved head?
Nah.
Hi.
Hey. That stinks.
It's good. Have you had enough New York?
Yeah.
Have you had enough of me?
No.
Okay, good. You want to go back to the hotel?
Okay.
Let's go. Been so far?
It's been pretty good. My flight got cancelled, but I'm honestly very happy to have a few extra days to cuddle with you.
I know, I'm really happy that we're getting to have some like girl time.
Me too.
We had to pour ourselves wine because we can't do this sober. Cheers. Okay, so you recently just went through a breakup.
Yes.
The internet just basically found out this week. And to give context to the Daddy Gang, maybe you guys are familiar, maybe you're not. Madeline was dating someone that is also in the public eye, is a very famous rapper from the UK. And your relationship kind of just like blew up online. You guys were seen together. You guys made some TikToks together. Like you were out together at parties and like everyone was obsessed with you guys. And then this week, something kind of came out where he was at a concert essentially. And someone that was on stage with him was like, my boy is single. And everyone's like, wait, what the fuck is happening? So to confirm, you guys are broken up.
Yes.
How long have you guys been broken up for?
A couple months.
Okay.
So.
Can I ask, like, who ended the relationship?
I made the final call.
You made the final call?
Yes.
It's crazy because we were talking about this earlier, which I think we should talk about because mostly women listen to this show, and I'm like,
thank God.
Fuck everyone. Like, this is so annoying. Let's talk about, like, the perception online. Because you saying you ended it is not what people think online.
I know, but it's not even like anyone's given any thought to it. It's just like their immediate response is like, I got dumped. Or like, it's like the girl because the guy has all these, like, girls after him and crazy followers and crazy money. And it's like, it's for some reason what we would expect, like, culturally in a weird way. And I hate that.
You're so right. It always is like the guy ended it. Like I've literally seen comments of being like, he must have dumped her. Like she must be so depressed. And it's like, you actually ended it. But it's annoying that it has to take you coming on and saying that for then people to believe it.
It's really dumb.
Yeah.
It's really dumb.
I think a lot of times, obviously, it's really difficult to end a relationship. Some people know for years. Some people know like over a weekend and it hits them. Like, how long, first of all, can I ask, were you guys actually dating?
So we met nearly 2 years ago.
Okay.
And have been obviously in some kind of entanglement ever since.
You were basically talking and together for 2 years.
Yeah.
And you ended it 2 months ago.
Yes.
How long did you know that you wanted to end it?
Quite a while. I think it was a lot of back and forth, and like it kind of like in a fun toxic way almost, when you're like, oh god, like this needs to end, but fuck it, like let's go on one more trip together, or like let's have one more night, like. But I think it was kind of hard because like we both just were like a little bit obsessed with each other, and every time it was like, okay, like logically this needs to end, we're not happy, it's not fulfilling us, like there's a lot of issues that we cannot resolve, like this has gone on too long, or like there's a resentment here and it's not gonna go away, like we'd have that conversation, be like, yeah, this is fucking terrible. Anyway, like
that is too fucking relatable though, of like knowing something's toxic and smiling in the face of toxicity and being like,
yeah,
where are we going next week for that concert, or where are we flying to? It's like,
right.
You can't give it up sometimes, even as toxic as it is maybe to some people on the outside. When you're in it, it almost becomes like an addiction.
Oh my god, the word addiction, I've been throwing it around lately, because like I even was speaking to my friend, and I don't know if I can say this, but obviously it's New York Fashion Week and he was here.
Yeah.
And I had no intention to see him, but I got the text and I was like...
Oh, that's so relatable.
I was getting pizza with my friends and we'd just come out of this party, and I was like, oh my god. And my friend was like, don't you fucking dare, like, you don't need to do this. And I was like, no, I'm absolutely not going to. And I went to bed, and I expected to wake up the next morning being like, thank fucking god, I held my own in that situation. And I woke up like, no, I really should have fucked him. And I was like, oh my god. And I texted my friend, I was like, I actually think I'm addicted to chaos. Like, I think I wish I woke up this morning like, oh my god, crazy, like went to his hotel, left at 5 a.m, got back here, feel like shit. And I was like, how can I possibly want that? I'm like, it's an actual addiction.
It is, because don't you feel like you, like when you're going through kind of that like toxic ending, you become so... like it becomes so normalized that then when you're in your quiet moments without the toxic, you're literally like, wait, like where is it? Like where is he? Like why don't I feel that rush? Why don't I feel like insecure or nervous or like obsessed? Like there's so many weird emotions that you go through that when it's gone, you're literally like, is life boring? Like why am I stable?
Yeah.
You kind of mentioned like your friends, like during this relationship, obviously as things kind of start to fall apart, I think we can all relate to maybe holding things back from our friends or being brutally honest with them. It depends. Like, where were you at on that spectrum of like telling your friends the actual truth of what was going on?
Fully lying, but I actually made a new friend recently. I've been talking about this to everyone. I told you about her, and she was someone that I've really wanted to like she kind of commands you to be a good person. Mm-hmm. She's one of those people that it's like, I'm gonna actually feel fucking stupid if I say something dumb in front of you, because like you clearly respect yourself and I like you. And we were talking and I told her something, and from that point I was like, okay, I have no choice. Like this relationship has to end now.
Why? Because what was her reaction?
It was like humbling a little bit. And also when you finally say it, it's kind of a reflection that you're already ready to get out of it because you're saying it.
That's a good point. It's almost like until you're ready to vocalize it even to one person, like for so long you can go in the delusion of being like, it's fine, like it's not that toxic, like it's gonna be fine. But the minute that you say it to someone that's like not in it, and the minute you say it out loud how crazy it sounds, because their face is literally like, what the fuck, bitch?
Yeah.
Can you explain to me, like from your just perspective, like how did this relationship affect you?
I really didn't like who I became towards the end, especially. One thing that always got to me was he always said I was rude. And I really pride myself on not being fucking rude to like anybody. And I understand that I'm a little bit shy and sometimes I can come off like I'm not interested, but I'm actually just like, I don't know what to say, and so I don't say anything. But then I was like, no, you're right. Like whenever I'm in a room with your friends or your family or your coworkers, I don't say anything. And I become this really closed off small version of myself and feel like everything I say is stupid, or like everything I say is wrong somehow. And it's actually been weird coming to Fashion Week, because like I still have that kind of voice in my head of like, everything I'm saying is so stupid, or like I don't know what I'm doing. And then I sat next to this girl at one of the shows. We like chatted before the show started, and then we chatted when the show ended, and I thought we had a nice normal interaction. I was like, yeah, like that was a standard good social interaction. Like I thought we were really friendly. But then I was like, oh, but I probably said 100 things wrong that I didn't even realize that I said wrong, and like I'm sure people would have things to say about it. Like if I'd have been in a room with certain people, I'm sure there'd be comments. And then she DM'd me on Instagram. She was like, do you want to have girl dinner this week? And I was like, no, I knew I was fucking normal. Like I knew it.
Your confidence is down.
Yeah, but I think this fashion week's really brought it back because I've met so many new people and like made actual new friends.
I think though this is like a good conversation to have, Madeline, because so many women listen to this podcast, and like you just saying that is a small example of like, I get it when you're seeing that 2 a.m. text and you're like, fuck, should I go back to the toxic? But then it's also like you saying you felt small, you felt not confident, you were doubting yourself, you weren't being yourself. And then the minute you were away from it, and yes, you were still doubting yourself, but then now you're finding yourself like getting your groove back and like having more confidence, like it really is crazy. And it's not even to say that the partner you're with is a bad person. Maybe they are, maybe they're a fucking asshole, maybe they're a psycho, but when you're with the wrong person, you can just become such a shell of yourself.
Yeah.
That like, if you go too long like that, you can actually lose yourself and you can lose your way. Like I went through that with someone that I was in a relationship with, and it was so unhealthy. And I remember like fighting so hard for it. And I think when I look back, half of the reason I was fighting so hard, aside from being obsessed with the toxicity, was actually I didn't even know who I was going to be the minute that I left that person, because I didn't even know who I was anymore without him and that toxicity. And it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Were you nervous to actually end it? Like, can you talk about ending it and how you even got the strength to do that? Because that is a motherfucker.
I think it was finally speaking about it with other people and getting another perspective. And also with him, like, it wasn't like he was super happy and like being like, no, like we can fix it, it can be better. Like we were both like, we're drained. And then I think I've not seen him in a while, but the last time I saw him was actually Olivia Rodrigo's like dinner party with this
pictures,
yeah, that was the last time I ever saw him.
Wow.
Yeah, and there was definitely some sensed tensions at that, but we'd gone to the dinner together, and I think I could kind of see people's reactions at the dinner table, like, ooh, something's
off
going on. I'm pretty sure Rodrigo herself checked in and was like, are you okay? She's like, what the fuck is going on?
Oh, wow. So Olivia knew.
I feel
she seems like an
most
intuitive
people
person.
could tell
Yeah.
that things weren't good. And then, yeah, we just like got in a taxi and like had an argument, and then I like went home and he went back to his. And usually if we'd had a fight, like we would bicker for an hour and we'd argue for an hour and then we'd go to bed together.
Yeah.
But it got to the point where we'd have like half an argument and then be like, oh, fuck you, fuck this, like, and walk the other direction, because we literally didn't care. Like we were like, there's no point, there's like no resolution anymore.
I also feel like, you know, when you're kind of at rock bottom, when you're fighting in public with people, like even at some types of event like that where like people are like looking at you guys and like observing, and like it's just like you can't even stop yourselves, like
literally, like
that's when you
like,
know it's,
please, some dignity, girl. Like,
and that's when you know, wow.
Also, like, he is in such an exciting part of his life, and I'm so happy for him. Like, this is a huge, like, everything he's doing is huge, everything is exciting. And I was like, why are you coming home and beefing me over text every night? You should be enjoying yourself. I should be enjoying myself.
I was about to say, you're also at a really exciting time in your life too.
Me too. And like, I was like, why are we forcing each other to be in this situation? Like, I don't want this toxic, horrible, what it became horrible, like, situation to like be always in the back of your mind. Like, you should just be enjoying life. Like, life is short.
Yeah.
And it was the same for me. I was like, why am I having these great experiences and these amazing days, and then going home and like laying in bed like unable to move because we've had such a bad argument that day over nothing.
It's also like if you have the right person in your life in that moment, like it should be easy, it should be fun. Of course relationships are hard, but like going home and laying in bed with a pit in your stomach, like it just shouldn't happen. It can happen once a couple times a year where you're like, oh God, we just had a big like breakthrough moment or a fight. But it's like, if this is a constant narrative in your head, like we have to remind ourselves this isn't normal. Like I said, I've gone through it, and then I'm now in a relationship where I'm like, whoa, like I remember when I met Matt, I was like, is this normal to like feel this good about myself and feel confident and to feel like I can have a career and a relationship because I have a partner that supports me? Like it takes getting out of something to realize like the things you actually never need again, and maybe also you want again, but you shouldn't be sitting in bed with like sick to your stomach.
No.
So were you nervous to like with that final conversation? Like was it like a screaming argument? Like were you okay going into it? Like I just feel like so many girls message me being like, how the fuck do I end this thing? Like what do I do? Like what's your advice?
For me, I knew we'd had conversations before where we were both like, look, this isn't good. We're not healthy. We never get to see each other. So we can't even resolve things. Like it's hard over the phone, different time zones. Like what the fuck are we doing? But then obviously we'd go back and be like,
we're back.
You're still hot, unfortunately.
Still look good on your Instagram, so I'm sliding in.
But I think because I'd done that so many times, I knew like, okay, look, if we sit and talk about this for 5 hours, I'm going to end up back in your bed. And like, it needed to be like ripping the Band-Aid off, like very matter of fact, like
it's over.
It's done. The thing that I feel like no one actually believes is that it wasn't PR. Like, if it was PR, I probably would have posted it more than 3 fucking times. Like, we kept it secret for quite a while.
What did you learn from that relationship that you definitely will do differently moving forward?
Ooh, I think just like, I definitely need to get better at letting my friends in and like keeping them informed on like what's going on, so they can kind of like tell me like, hey, that's not fucking okay, or like that's not normal. And it's something me and all of my friends collectively need to work on, because we're all guilty of it, of like hiding little things, because you make excuses and you're like, well, I know why they did that, and I know that they have this issue, and like, I know they're a good person, but my best friend's not going to have that same love and empathy for them, and so you hide shit, but like, no, not again. Although I said this after my last relationship too, and I didn't do it, so.
You're like, okay, this next relationship, I'm actually going to tell my friends. Like, I'm saying it here to hold myself fucking accountable.
Sorry, Millie. It's a work in progress.
No, but I get it. I would say that too, and I know it sounds like simple because so many people say it, but like, if you are lying to people in your life about your relationship, that is the first red flag that it is not a healthy relationship, because why are you lying? Because you have a biased view. Tell someone unbiased, listen to their opinion of that. They're going to be like, bitch, get the fuck out of there. Did you tell your therapist that you were going to end it?
No, I told him that we broke up 6 months ago.
Madeline, you told your therapist 6 months. You were like 6 months ago. It's over.
Yeah.
So what have you been talking about for 6 months with your therapist?
My fucking fear of germs.
Your fear of germs? Shut the fuck up. Wait, 6 months ago.
Like probably more than that.
Why?
I don't like. I don't know, cause like he's just kind of like, he thought. First of all, he called him Central Z, couldn't get it right, and he thought, like, Central Z and his government name, like, Oakley, he thought they were 2 separate people, and I was like, a bitch.
He thought you were dating 2 people.
No, he thought they were 2 separate people. So I would, like, talk about him, and he'd be like, so why are we talking about a rapper? And I was like, for fuck's sake, like...
Is he old?
He's pretty old.
So he's having a hard time, like, keeping up with, like, the young Gen Z. Does he have a TikTok?
Not really. He had to kind of, like, he's asked a couple times, he's like, so... where can I find you if I want to go online? And I'm like, no, don't worry about that. Don't worry about it. Because I, like, fully will make a TikTok like I lied to my therapist today. I'm going to do it tomorrow. Like, here's like 1, like 2, like 3.
So you need to, like, update your therapist maybe.
Maybe. No, I'm not gonna.
We need to get you a different therapist.
I agree.
Okay. The moral of the story is blame everything on your therapist. The reason Madeline's been going...
No, but I love him. He's so smart.
Well, you can, like, get coffee with him and, like, stay in touch and be friends. Like, we need someone that you're actually going to be, like, they're, like, with it enough and not, like, covered in dust. And all that. And on the way out,
What if he watches this?
he's not gonna watch this. Does he go on social media?
Covered in dust. No, he refers to it as the metaverse.
He literally calls social media the metaverse. Like, babe, it's time to upgrade your therapist. We love him. Get coffee with him.
He's like my car.
Oh my god, he's literally your car. You guys, Madeline has the oldest car known to man. I remember when you were driving into the city, Madeline was telling me, she was like, I need to be in London at 4 o'clock this afternoon. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And she's like, so I'm leaving at 9 a.m. And I was like, how far is your house from London? She's like, 1 hour. I'm like, so you're giving yourself like how many hours to get there? She's like, just so that I can give myself my car brakes to break down on the highway so that I can get to London. I'm like, Madeline, let's talk about your sexuality. As we said, he was the first penis that you ever dated.
Yeah.
Your whole life up until now. How old are you?
23.
23. Up until 23, you have basically dated women.
Yeah.
Take me back. How and when did you first know that you were attracted to women?
I was actually pretty stupid, so I only figured it out when I was like 15.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I think I actually knew really early on, but I was like, ooh, suppressed that.
Well, first of all, you're not stupid, and anyone listening, you're not stupid. Like, I get that's probably how you felt, but it's not stupid because I also feel like, obviously, society makes you feel like, don't have those feelings, like, don't feel that way, so it's actually not your fault for feeling, like, scared to accept those feelings.
No, definitely. And I think I actually knew from, like, a very young age. Like, I remember looking at, like, lingerie adverts and whatever, like, pictures of maybe naked women that my mom had around the house, and, like, I remember liking the way it looked and being like, I don't know what this is, like, I've never seen this before, like, I don't think you're meant to feel this way, I think that's for boys. And so I would, like, suppress it, and I didn't really know what gay was. Like, I remember the first time I ever saw a lesbian couple, and I was in Brighton, which is, like, a very, very like, LGBT area of the UK, and so there were these women, and they were, like, making out by the beach, and in my tiny little head, I must have been like 7 or 8, the first thing I thought was mother and daughter, because that's all I knew was, like, I would kiss my mum on the lips when I'd, like, say bye to her, so I just thought they were, like, taking it to the next level. And I was walking with my best friend and her mum, and I went, ugh. As a 7-year-old, I was like, why is she making out with her mum? Like, that's crazy. And my friend's mum whipped around at me so fast and was like, why did you say that? Like, why would you do that? And she had to explain to me that that's what that is. And I was like, oh, interesting that you say that's an option.
Interesting.
I remember it so clearly because from that day on, I was like, okay, like,
it doesn't have
very
to just be
good
with
to
my mom.
know. Yeah. Yeah.
Not in a creepy way, but, like, you can kiss another woman and it not just be your mom.
Yeah, thank God.
And it is acceptable. It's more acceptable than, like, making out with your mom. It's better to make out with a different woman.
Preferably, I mean, thanks for clarifying.
Did it complicate your understanding of your sexuality when you realized you weren't just attracted to women, you were also attracted to men?
A little bit. I mean, obviously there was a time in my life where I felt like the label lesbian was the best fit for me. But I never liked labels generally because I was like, but how can I commit to, like, I'm definitely never going to find a man I click with, and I'm definitely this and definitely that. But at the same time, I was like, I resent the fuck out of it when other people are like, oh, but you might meet a guy and there's just one guy out there for you. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. But then to myself secretly, I'm like, okay, but also that's like, I might, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and I think usually I wouldn't care, but like having a social media platform, like I don't want to be like, oh, I'm this. And then the 1 in a million happens and something else is actually the case. And then I feel like I've misrepresented a community and people are going to be upset about it. And I would always question myself, like, if there was a guy and I would find him cute and like I say I'm identifying as like a lesbian and then I find a guy cute, I'd be like, okay, so what's the percentage? Like 2% straight, 5% straight, or 5% bisexual, whatever, 5% into guys and 95% into girls. And like I spend so much time thinking about it, like trying to put myself in the correct box. And it was so draining. Like it was the most exhausting thing because like I said, like girlies, like straight girlies, will go out to the club and like kiss their girlfriends, and they don't have to answer to anyone for it. That's like a normal thing, and you're not 5% into girls just because you do that. Like,
Yeah.
and so I was like, why am I tormenting myself with this like round and round and round bullshit of like, what am I? Like, shut up.
Right.
Just have fun, bitch. Like, it's not, you don't need to worry about it.
Yeah. It's like so crazy too, even just hearing you say that. I empathize a lot with you because I feel like I've had enough conversations with people on my show where like it's the only reason you internally feel that way is because the outward perception of you is people staring at you being like, what are you? What are you? What do you identify as? And it must be like kind of freeing at some point, and I hope everyone gets to that point in their life where it can be like, it doesn't matter. I can wake up today and be attracted to this. I can wake up tomorrow and be attracted to this, and that's fucking fine. It doesn't fucking matter.
For me, felt like everyone that had been like homophobic towards me and been like, oh, you know, one day you're gonna find a dick that you like and you're gonna wake up beside a guy and like you don't really know yourself and you don't really know what you're feeling, like that kind of thing. I was like, I don't want to ever hand it to them. Like, I don't want to ever find a guy that I want to fucking date because like, fuck you. And
Did
like,
you experience that a lot?
a lot of it, yeah. And like, I was very aware of like the idea of like, one day you're gonna get a dick that's gonna like change your mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you're like, fuck you. I like resent that fact. So now I'm gonna like make sure I never date a guy. But it's like, you can't go off of just spite. But I get that would be so annoying.
You can't.
But how did that make you feel? People like basically like questioning like your sexuality and actually chalking it up to the fact that you just don't know yourself.
Well, I think that's the main reason I felt so much need to like figure out my percents and put myself in that box and be really, really involved mentally with what I was, because I was like, when I claim to be something, I have to be correct because I don't want to prove these idiots right.
Yeah.
And like, I got to a point where I just grew up and I didn't care about them because why the fuck does it matter what they think? It really doesn't. And like, as long as you're being genuine to yourself at every separate point in time, like when I believed I only liked women, that was because I'd only ever fucking liked women. And I'd connected with them and I'd had good sex with them. And then, oh look, I meet a guy and we're such compatible people and I find him really funny and he's really cute. Oh look, like, okay, cool. Like, it's not, like now it would be true for me to say that I'm bi, and previously it would have been true from my perspective to say I was a lesbian. Like, I wasn't wrong then and I'm not wrong now.
Yeah. Do you have advice to anyone right now that's also kind of going through a similar situation that you've gone through of like trying to define their sexuality and people looking at them like looking for an answer?
I think you don't owe an answer to anyone would be like the main thing, and you can't intellectualize your sexuality is what I've always said. Like, you can sit and think about it for 24 hours a day and you're not going to get any more answers than just living and experiencing your life is going to give you. Like, you literally have to see it play out. You have to have hundreds of experiences and meet new people and be exposed to new perspectives and be exposed to new people and have sex and kiss people and do whatever you want. Like that, you literally are going to get nowhere by just sitting and thinking and dwelling on it. Like, as much as you probably want to, and I did it for years, it's not going to give you the answer. So like, just live your life and do what makes you feel good as and when it makes you feel good. Because also, what might make me feel good today might make me feel disgusting in a week. Mm-hmm. Like, sometimes I want to have like really nice sex, and then other times I don't want to have such nice sex. You know what I mean? Like, things are just gonna ebb and flow and change, and just like let it happen. And yeah, don't get too in your head, I think. And you don't owe anyone anything anyway.
Amen. Okay, let's have a little sip of our wine and let's talk about your fucking podcast. Pretty lonesome. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I want you to talk to the Daddy Gang about this podcast, what it means to you, what it's going to be about, why people should listen and watch.
Well, I think it is kind of a place to like embrace being alone, because I always say like your 20s are very developmental years of your life, and I felt like I was going through all these things, and like the only thing getting me through was like giggling about it at the end of the day with my girlfriends. Like, that was the only fucking thing keeping me sane. And like, when we first started speaking about podcasting and what mine was going to be, I was like, why the fuck does everything sound like I'm trying to give advice, or like it's an advice podcast? And I was like, I do not have an ounce of advice to give anyone. Like, I make so many mistakes, as we've discussed today. So I kind of wanted it to be a place where I can just like offload, because I think if TikTok has taught me one thing, it's that like you're never alone in your experiences. No matter how rogue you think they are, someone has done the same shit as you. Probably a lot of people have done the same shit as you.
I actually love that. Your podcast is going to be you just like explaining things that are going on in your life, and like maybe when people are feeling alone or they want to connect, or even if they're just like looking for a good fucking entertaining time, tune into your podcast, Pretty Lonesome, and you will feel less alone, because Madeline is going to be there alone talking about her feelings in her life. And now she is fully single, not ready to mingle. She's ready to mingle on her podcast. Yeah. I cannot thank you enough for coming on Call Her Daddy. This has been so much fun. We need to keep meeting up in New York. Like, I was about to say annually. No, like every other month.
Can only do one time a year.
Yeah, one time a year. We only see each other. We hold hands.
Love you so much.
Love you. Love you. See you every one time a year. No, but thank you